Mohammad Hatta. After his early education, he studied in Dutch schools in the Dutch East Indies and studied in the Netherlands from 1921 till 1932. Early life, family, and early education. Early life and family. Hatta was born in Fort de Kock, now known as Bukittinggi, on August 12, 1902 into a prominent and strongly Islamic family. Early education. When he was 13, he passed an exam that entitled him to enroll in the Dutch Secondary School, HBS or Hoger Burgerschool, in Batavia, now Jakarta. Time in the Netherlands. Later education. In 1919, Hatta finally went to the HBS in Batavia. Struggle for independence in the Netherlands. He made a speech to the court explaining that Indonesia's interests were in conflict with those of the Dutch, and that was why they could not cooperate. Return to Indonesia. Struggle against Dutch colonial rule. The Indonesian National Party. Between 1932 and 1933, Hatta wrote articles on politics and economics for the Newpnese newspaper Dalit Riyad, the People's Authority. Arrest and exile. The Dutch colonial government gave Sukarno a harsh punishment, exiling him to Ende on the island of Flores in December 1933. World War II. Japanese occupation. Japanese invasion. On March 22, 1942, Hatta and Seorar were again transferred to Jakarta. Collaboration with the Japanese. In a speech in December 1942, Hatta said that Indonesia had been freed from the Dutch colonial government, but if they were freed only to be colonized by another power, he would rather see Indonesia. Proclamation of Independence. Background. By August 1945, as Japan was on the eve of defeat, the administration finally approved Indonesian independence and formed the Preparatory Committee for Indonesian Independence, P, to supervise it. Japanese surrender. The next day, on August 15, 1945, Japan surrendered to the Allies. Kidnapping and proclamation. On the morning of August 16, 1945, Indonesian youths kidnapped both Hatta and Sukarno and took them to the town of Rengas Dengklok where they continued. Election as Vice President edit. On August 18, 1945, Hatta was selected as Indonesia's first vice president by the P to accompany Sukarno, who had been elected as the nation's first president. Indonesian National Revolution. Early Revolution. The Linggadjati Agreement, signed in November 1946, called for Dutch recognition of the Republic of Indonesia. Prime Ministership. The Queen of the Netherlands would continue to become the symbolic head of state while Sukarno and Hatta would continue as president and vice president. Vice Presidency. Intellectual pursuits and cooperatives. In 1953, Hatta's contribution towards promoting cooperatives was recognized, and he was given the title Father of Indonesian Cooperatives at the Indonesian Cooperative Congress. Setting Indonesia's foreign policy doctrine. In saying this, Hatta wanted Indonesia to be independent in deciding its stance during the Cold War. Retirement. Announcement and cause. Hatta finally gave up and felt that he could no longer work with Sukarno. Citation needed. On December 1, 1956, Hatta officially resigned from the vice presidency. Aftermath. Hatta's retirement caused shockwaves all around Indonesia, especially for those of non-Javanese ethnicity. Post-vice presidency. Government critic. In 1960, Hatta wrote a book called Our Democracy. The New Order. Transition to the New Order. In a letter to Suharto, Hatta said that he was disappointed that Sukarno was put under house arrest instead of being put on trial. Corruption Investigation Commission. Controversially, however, in August 1970, Suharto disbanded the commission and allowed for only 2 cases of corruption to be looked at by the government. Institute for Constitutional Awareness Foundation. In July 1978, together with Abdul Haris Nasution, Hatta set up the Institute for Constitutional Awareness Foundation, set up to act as a forum for critics of Suharto's regime. Death. He was designated as a proclaiming hero in 1986 by the Suharto government.